friends. I thought I would do a quick overview of this spreadsheet that I put together, which is basically just sharing what pouch size I used for what templates and what templates are next to each other in my collection. Now, of course, there are so many ways you can do this. You could do alphabetical and or you don't have to do the categories. You can do different categories. I'll tell you why I did it the way I did it and kind of my thought processes behind it. If that resonates with you, I hope that this spreadsheet helps save you a little bit of time. So it's something that you can kind of mimic in your own designs and give you, less to think about. So with that said, really quickly in column A, it says pocket size, and I just want to share with you what each of these means. So when I say border, that's referring to the border pouch, okay, which it's basically called border pouch. It's the one single 13-inch border pouch. When I say double, that's referring to inside of the accessory pouch, there is two styles that come in this pack, and one of them is, two squares, 6 inches basically by each other here. This is what I mean by double. I just called it double in my own terminology. And then I call this one mix. It's a mix. So when I say double, it's the accessory pouch with the 2/6, and mix is the other accessory pouch inside of that accessory pack. Okay, and then on top of that, then of course the other ones are pretty much medium 9. You'll see triple. You'll see, so that's referring to this one where it's 1, 2, 3. The 9-inch is this one, and then the large 13 is referring to the large one. Okay, so with that said, definitely kind of starting with what I had sorted out based off of the checklist we gave and the tabs colors and the category dividers. So in the seasonal section, it's basically what you see. Let me walk through this and tell you anything that's unique. So all of these fit inside of the 12-inch border pouch. So North Pole currently sits in a double, and the gray box means that I don't have anything currently next to it. I'm sure in the future I'll have another set, so that's just an open spot. In this one, the double, I actually chose to put all 4 of these because there's some like a la carte, so I put those together. I mixed them in some pouches but made the tabs all visible. Okay, so I'll show a video of that over the top of this here, give you a visual. So let me share that. Here's another example where I did this similar, where I utilized all 4 places to put tabs, but I only had 3 pockets. So I have Sweet Pea, Thank You Kit, and then over here in a little clear bag, I did put the other 2 items associated with that. So that's another example of where you can double up on some pockets. And then, so on the mix, when you're putting yours away, you'll notice that one is bigger. So like Simple Life, like I know off the top of my head, is the one that I put in the bigger pocket, and then Belle's I put in the smaller pocket. So I didn't necessarily know what was the small big, but when you pull out Scarecrow or you pull out the Ghost and Pumpkin a la carte, you'll notice like, oh, I'm gonna put this one in the small one and this one in the big one. Same thing. I'll put this one in the big one, this in the small one. So just something else there. Triple, those are all 1 tab each, so 3 tabs across, 3 tabs across. And then the 9 inches are just allocated to these alone. The X just means that nothing else, like it's not like it's blank and has an open, it's just, it is a single pouch, so nothing else really is assigned or possibly can be assigned. So the gray is just that it does have an empty pocket in my understanding of what I intend that to be, okay? So there's that. And then you'll notice here, so sometimes to really just make it more affordable, and sometimes, I think it's nice that there's multiple places for tabs so you can double up on some pockets. I specifically look for opportunities where similar designs are like each other, or the more chances of me wanting to use those together. And so that's kind of the thought process behind Bunny and Sprig going inside of the Spring Fever, even though it's a larger medium. I was like, if I pull out that pocket, most likely I'm going to want to try to play with all of those together and see what layers and combinations and mixing and matching and all that stuff. So that's kind of the thought process there. My others, since we're on seasonal, my other plan, I just haven't done it yet. Maybe I'll do it really quickly. Is I do want to do subcategories specifically. This is the one that I think I want to do subcategories. I want to do a fall, spring, summer, and I mentioned that you could just use the blank side of the category cards and you can add seasonal or any other titles that work for you. These were just, the ones printed were just suggestions based off of design focus concepts. If you prefer a different kind of concept, that works. But again, when I'm designing what are the thoughts and the needs that I want, that kind of is what's encourage these type of sections. Okay, so I'll organize this before I share it. I'm gonna put all my like fall and my winter type themes together. So bat will go up next to haunted. Those are all my fall. This is more of a summer. Now, with that said, the templates are so versatile. So I really think take advantage of the DT checklist. You can download it, it's free, because it has a search in there. So if you're looking for a specific flower, then you can search flowers and it'll pull up all the designs and then it will tell you what set it was in. And then hopefully the visual tabs help you kind of locate that in your own collection. Or again, you can, if you're using the checklist in the app, you can see, oh, I own it or I don't own it, right? So you can see, oh, I don't own this one, so you don't have to go look for it. Or you can go add it to your list if it's in the shop. But for me, I really pull on the DT checklist to kind of help me find maybe what's inside of each set. Like, I won't know off the top of my head what's in Sun and Fun necessarily, unless I was like looking at the tab. But if I needed an arrow or something, I would just use the DT checklist in that case. Okay, so that's another point I wanted to make as far as my suggestions on how to approach that type of scenario. I do not personally separate my templates by arrows, flowers, gears. Like, I don't put all my gears together. I don't put all that together. I put mine in from a design approach. Themes is a design approach. And then I keep them in their sets because, again, the app is designed in sets. And so if I search a flower and it says scarecrow, which scarecrow doesn't have a flower in there, but let's say it does, I need to be able to say, okay, I need to look for scarecrow, right? Not, okay, hold on, I tore these sets apart into what? Okay. Since I'm on that, the last point I'll make is that also we design the kits to be kind of designed within each other, like, right? The elements really complement each other inside of flamazing or backwoods. There's a lot of effort that we put into these type of designs in one set. Could be fun to layer together, especially the newer sets, as we have learned along the way. So I mentioned that because somebody was mentioning even like everyday adventures. Maybe I should pull that apart. I wish I had different tabs for each one and I could put the flower over here and this over there. And that is valid. Like I said, it kind of goes back to the last thing we were just talking about. But when we designed Nature Walk, we really designed it and we created layouts and we were like, ooh, all of these are kind of a one-stop set, right? That they really can work really great in and of itself. If you want to mix and all that, that's always fun. But a lot of the thought process on what designs and what sizes of designs are in sets too is also something we always factor when we're creating new products. Okay, so for example, like I definitely am like, oh, you can grab Beautiful Ride and Madison Avenue, and you can add little cute accents from Beautiful Ride and be able to really accentuate a page. And again, we always encourage mixing and matching, but hopefully that explains another reason why I prefer it the way that we have it, or the way I personally have my collection, is because I know all of those things are factors, and why would I want to think harder than I need to? I don't want to do that. Definitely not a fan of thinking harder than I need to. All right, so the other thing I want to bring up is that the templates are versatile. So you'll notice that, for example, trees isn't seasonal. And I know somebody was like, is this intentional? And because each set could be across many different categories, it's really up to you where you want to have your specific sets. Now, the tabs, we did design them to coordinate with the associated suggested categories that we gave, but we also knew that this is not going to apply to everybody. We kind of took a survey on what common samples we have and where are they used, and I think that's kind of what drove different decisions on some of those things. But like I said, easily there are some tabs even in myself that I'm looking at and I was like, oh, I don't think I would use this one here. Maybe I would refer to Seaside as seasonal versus adventure. But like I said, we kind of just took a survey among us and trying to decide where that could fit based off of that. But just know that we knew that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, we know that the designer templates are versatile. Oh, like Olive Board's a good example. It's in seasonal, but it has a cute train in and a cute placemat template from a design point in that Olive Board. And that could be all around, meaning I can use it on multiple different occasions or pages. It's about what paper I'm using. Yet it also has ornaments in there, so it went into seasonal. So it's definitely going to cross many categories, I guess is what I'm saying. So whether you use the categories or you don't use the categories and you alphabetize or not alphabetize, totally up to you. Now, I think it's easier to alphabetize like the borders, right? These, or even the backdrops, you can alphabetize them. Actually, this document that we gave at this point for everybody to get organized, to help everybody get organized at this point, they're already alphabetized for you. But when it comes to accessories, those are a little bit harder. And the reason why is because for me, I wanted to put relatable things next to each other in the pockets. That's not going to always mean that they're alphabetized. So I just want to point that out. So for me, I rather keep associated designs kind of near each other in that case. Okay, so again, hopefully that helps some thoughts processes and also the reality of the versatility of the designer templates in that case. All right, so moving on, nature. So again, this is just how I have my collection. Border, it has the vine in it, garden frills. These three are in a double. I have a blank spot here next to orchard. I did wildflower and tiny wildflower together in one pocket, and I did floral and tiny floral in one pocket, so I doubled up on those. And that's mostly because of, actually I explained it here in this video. In this scenario, I decided to keep in one pocket. You can actually approach this in two ways. In this case, I decided to keep the tiny wildflower next to the wildflower, and I just put them all in one pocket so that if I am designing, I'm reminded that I could choose to go more layers or not go more layers. It really depends on what you're designing. But I like to have the ones that are compatible and allow double or triple layers effortlessly I just decided to put the floral and tiny floral together, tiny wildflower together, actually tiny wildflower. And these are some past sets, but that's just a good example of another scenario. But I was gonna say tiny wildflower, it's really fun because you can do triple layers actually effortlessly with that set. And I love how quickly that layering comes together for you. And then I even, so on this triple, I took advantage of all 4 tab slots here on this one as well, and even all 4 slots here on the triple. So yeah, another good example of this. Here's another example of utilizing one pocket for multiple sets. So each pocket actually can fit up to 4 tabs across it. And so with the placemats, since they are similar in their design function, I decided to go ahead and put those all in this one pocket and made sure that every set or every template that was inside this pocket, that also the tab, of course, is there so that I know that placemats 2 is in here. And then, of course, the list goes on. Hopefully same concept, same things, border, these are individuals. Sometimes this, like for example, citrus, it's not really a border. Like even grateful is not a border. It's all about the size of the template worked best, or I thought it worked best in the border size. Some of these sets that aren't like border styles, we called the packaging or the pocket border, but clearly like it's all about the size. So these don't mean that these are borders. They just mean that the template set fit inside of the border. Because right now we're in the accessory categories. So, because we broke that accessory category up, like we explained on this checklist, into these subcategories or these sections down here. Okay. Here's another example where I put 2 to 1. I did put the homemade and sashes. Again, similar in their design function, just a little slightly different, which can make a choice difference when you're designing, but they're similar in size and compatibility. And so I just doubled up on this pocket. But the beautiful thing again is that you can add multiple tabs to one pocket, still have that visualization identifying what sets are inside of there, and then of course helping you to put them back where they go as well. And this is all, by the way, all templates. So like it's all Kiwi clubs and all past template sets, like we expressed on this checklist. This is just me breaking up again what I have in my collection. Okay, hopefully that helps explain that. So anytime you see 4, I used, even though it's 3 pouches, I just doubled up. I stuck 2 in 1. And another thing I did actually, like for example, underneath, let's see, yeah, this one. So this is in a border, but I put two sets inside of 1 pouch. But these little guys, I found that it's helpful if you do that often to get these little clear bags, which I'll share here in this video. In this case, I took 1 pocket due to this template, this larger template being a little longer. And I decided, since Ranger and Bear are similar in theme, right, as to the Backwoods template, once this one was released, I just merged these together. And the thought process behind that is that they will complement each other nicely. And so when I pull this out, I will see those 2 sets together, even though they're not 2 separate pockets, because this one specifically needs to go into the larger one. But to help kind of separate that, just in case, I did pick up these nice clear little plastic bags, and I did put the little 2 miscellaneous a la cartes, Ranger and Bear, and they are all in 1 pocket, but they are also separated out. And so that's another little tip when you want to double up maybe some sets in another patch. You can still display the tabs across the top, but you can double up on some sets in some pouches as well, and then keep them maybe separated with little types of bags or things like that. I found that helpful, especially with these smaller, more a la carte type things that are great additions. Like it just kind of enhances backwoods, and it most likely I would use those again or together, or could possibly work together great. So what I put next to each other is kind of based off of similarities. It's based off of themes, right? So like I have travel next to each other. I have like this flaminging and seaside adventures, like any kind of, again, maybe beach travel that you've done, or road trips that you've done. These work really great for like just great boyish pages, adventure again. If I was looking for a more masculine or boy page, I completely would look under adventures category, or of course all around categories. But like Tropical and Paradise, I paired next to each other. They have similar design function and also work well together. They play really fun together for when you want to layer and mix and match. You don't have to be like, oh, I wonder what looks good together. For me, these will look good together. So, and that's just off of experience. So that's why I put them side by side. So if this spreadsheet helps you, because that's my recommendations, then I hope it does. And if you have any questions, just let me know. But hopefully this information is somewhat helpful and saves you a little bit of time. All right, I look forward to you organizing your designer templates. It does take a little bit of time. It takes some effort. But like I said, hopefully with all of these resources and spreadsheets that we've been trying to disperse out into the community are helpful as well. All right, thanks guys. Bye.